Westminster Foundation for Democracy is a partner to the Parliament of Sierra Leone, and we're working to ensure that the democratic process is inclusive, accountable, and also transparent in its work, by thereby drawing the Parliament strides into the openness space. So amid some of the activities that we've done so far, borders around openness, borders around institutional building, borders around also pluralism, which is virtually a new thing that's occurring in Parliament because of the last election. In our openness agenda, we walked the Parliament of Sierra Leone through to become part of the Open Government Partnership. So what we do sometimes, last year we had a study visit with the Parliament of Georgia to understand and gauge their effort towards openness and transparency. So we became part of the OGP commitment, and so now even in the National Action Plan, the third National Action Plan, Parliament is one of the key pillars there that's promoted openness and transparency. And the interesting part in all of it is Parliament has been taking massive strides towards openness and transparency. So in order to achieve some of the mandate in the openness and transparency, there was a need to have a platform where citizens can interact with Parliament. So it gave birth to what we call the Parliamentary mobile app.
This is very, very important in this age of open governance and transparency in terms of how citizens can access their political representative in Parliament. The app has narrowed the gap between citizens and parliamentarians, and it is giving an insight to a lot of people as to what transpires in Parliament. So at a click, you'll be able to know the constituency and who is representing that constituency, and also a brief bio of that particular parliamentarian. In my opinion, the app has helped to bring Parliament closer to citizens. So in partnership with the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, we have trained youths in communities in Ombali, which is in northern Sierra Leone. These youths are supposed to reach out to a number of other young people, because it's much more important to know that the youths must participate in governance. We've also reached out to persons with disability in terms of training and empowerment, and equally so, we have the Open Government Partnership Steering Committee. We have encouraged the steering committee members to interact with the app, and it has been a fulfillment of one of the commitments we have in the National Action Plan for the Open Government Partnership process.
The mobile app, is another way of making us efficient. And when I went into that app, that was when I realized, that was heaven on earth. Indeed, it was a place, or it is a place where once you go there, everything you need to know about Parliament is there. You have a particular area in the app which gives you about all of the debates we have done. Or if you want to make reference to certain documents, you can go to the mobile app and actually see all of those documents, all of those critical decisions we have taken. It's an easy reference point.
If you really want the laws to be effective, you need to get the views of the people that the laws will eventually reflect on. So the setting of that particular parliamentary hub is definitely providing an opportunity for the citizenry to be involved in the lawmaking process, and also to be able to gauge the issues related to post-legislative scrutiny. Because when laws are made, what is so critical is for those laws to be implemented well. So the parliamentary app is making provision for the people themselves to be able to express their views and opinions about specific laws, and be able to contribute eventually to ensure that the laws are implemented well.
WFD came to Parliament, they realized that goal 4 in the strategic plan of the Parliament of Sierra Leone, the 5-year strategic plan, which is a complete replica of what dictates from the Parliamentary Service Commission and also the vision mission of the Parliament of Sierra Leone and the Constitution of Sierra Leone. They realized that goal 4 was not actualized, which says making Parliament open, transparent and accessible, and also reaching the leadership and bringing Parliament closer to the people and the people closer to Parliament. And what they were able to do is to develop a mobile app that will actualize that particular goal, which was lacking in Parliament of Sierra Leone. Most time in Sierra Leone and outside Sierra Leone, people are asking one single question: what are members of Parliament of Sierra Leone doing in Parliament? And that particular mobile app was able to explain to the general public all over the world that these are the work of members of Parliament and they are key contributors for the socio-economic development of the people of Sierra Leone. And people were able to see exactly what Parliament is doing through the mobile app. It is on the Android, and also they are working to make sure that they upload it to the Apple. So I think that's also a key and strategic enhancement which WFD has contributed, and it's making Parliament better than before.
Go and download the app. It is free.
The apps, the Parliament apps that Westminster did, it caters, it helps the union to reach out to its DPOs that for them to know exactly what Parliament is working on, what their activities, what their roles, and so now persons with disability are following up through the apps to know exactly what is happening in Parliament, which was never happening because people with disability were not aware and we are not interested exactly what was happening in Parliament. But through the apps that WFD did, people are very much interested now. They are following up what Parliament is doing. So it makes it very educative now for persons with disability, because we know the bills and acts that were passed in Parliament were not disability friendly. So because of the app now, persons with disability are following up with the bills that are passed in Parliament for it to be inclusive.
Well, the app is very, very important for the timing that we found ourselves here in Sierra Leone. Number one, as an ordinary citizen, it's important for me and you to be engaged in what is happening, decisions that are being made about the land that we are living in and how it's being governed, and also for us to have our voice heard as well, to be connected to the conversation and to understand what policies are being made, what legislation is being made that will help us to live a better quality life. Number two, we are living in a time where we have the youth bulge here in Africa, where over 50% of our population in Sierra Leone and across Africa is under the age of 35. And this youth population, this very young population, are engaged in technology, are engaged in the use of digital data and digital governance. Therefore, if we want to engage the large proportion of the population of Sierra Leone in how the land is being governed, we need to do that through technology. We have so many people on smartphones using WhatsApp, so it makes complete sense to also have some sort of platform online that the majority of the population can engage with to understand what decisions are being made, how they're being made, and why they're being made. So it's very timely actually that now we have this parliamentary app which has been launched, and now that is enabling so many people across the country, young, old, persons with disabilities, persons without disabilities, of all backgrounds, of all tribes, to be able to be connected to Parliament and to the decisions that are being made. So this is very timely. It also ties in with the ambitions of Sierra Leone and the Open Government Partnership to see a more transparent, a more open, a more accountable, a more inclusive process that really brings citizens closer to what is happening here in Freetown.
So as a student, I am excited. Why? Because when my lecturer gives me an assignment on Bill of Parliament, loan grant, sittings and hearing, I don't have to ache my head. I go straight to the Parliament mobile app and I'm able to access all the information I need to do my assignment. So that app serves as a reference point for me to do my assignment.
It has helped me a lot in terms of doing my research, because I'm a development student and I need to know everything, that has to do with the development of my community. And I'm sure the app is very much important. And it's not only giving me updates about my own member of parliament, but it is also giving me a broader knowledge, about parliament itself, about the activity, what is happening in the House of Parliament.
This was not happening before, but now I feel empowered as a student and a citizen. Thanks to Westminster Foundation for Democracy for this innovation.
One of the things that we need to understand is that many a times people see Parliament as totally outside the limits of their interaction. They don't know what's happening in the parliamentary house, the House of Parliament. And it would amaze you to know that people reside in constituency and they don't have any idea of who their representatives are, and to know their background and who is actually representing them. So without the app at an age of this nature, it would mean a disconnect with the ordinary citizens. So it's more so about getting citizens involved in the governance process with the parliamentary app on their mobile phones.
The parliamentary app we supported it, and we had a consultant and they developed it, and then had a lot of products into it that refers to as content. The profiles of all the members of parliament, all laws or treaties that have been signed or passed, all conventions and agreements and everything, even vote proceedings and status of bill making processes are all imbibed in that app. Even research that have been done, and even the work of the Parliamentary Budget Office. So all of these are there, presidential speech, and as the case may be. So people see it as a one-stop shop for actually everything around what Parliament does. So members of the academia are benefiting from it, school-going people are benefiting from this, members of the civil society are benefiting from this, people from diverse space in a way, saw the need and benefit of the parliamentary mobile app, and they're enjoying it going forward.